It's quite a challenge when you've been writing one story for several years, and that story has really taken over almost your whole life. I'm trying to do something which will have humour in it, because I think humour is quite an important part of my authorial voice, if you like. But I don't want it to just be another Bartimaeus story. Although he's a great character, it's good to ring the changes and give myself some kind of new challenge.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing Bartimaeus' voice again. I think you're going to read from the first 2 chapters of Ptolemy's Gate, is that right?
Yes, that's true. The first chapter is a flashback to the days when Bartimaeus was at the height of his powers. The second chapter is in the present day, when we see that he's fallen to a new low. Alexandria, 125 BC. The assassins dropped into the palace grounds at midnight, 4 fleet shadows dark against the wall. The fall was high, the ground was hard. They made no more sound on impact than the pattering of rain. 3 seconds they crouched there, low and motionless, sniffing at the air. Then away they stole, through the dark gardens, among the tamarisks and date palms, towards the quarters where the boy lay at rest. A cheetah on a chain stirred in its sleep. Far away in the desert, jackals cried. They went on pointed toe tips, leaving no trace in the long wet grass. Their robes flitted at their backs, fragmenting their shadows into wisps and traces. What could be seen? Nothing but leaves shifting in the breeze. What could be heard? Nothing but the wind sighing among the palm fronds. No sight, no noise. A crocodile jinni, standing sentry at the sacred pool, was undisturbed, though they passed within a scale's breadth of his tail. For humans, it wasn't badly done. The heat of the day was a memory. The air was chill. Above the palace, a cold, round moon shone down, slathering silver across the roofs and courtyards. At their posts, the guards played games of chance. In the pillared halls, the servants slept on beds of rushes. The palace gates were locked by triple bolts, each thicker than a man. No eyes were turned to the western gardens, where death came calling, secret as a scorpion, on 4 pairs of silent feet. The boy's window was on the first floor of the palace. 4 black shadows hunched beneath the wall. The leader made a signal. One by one, they pressed against the stonework. One by one, they began to climb, suspended by their fingertips and the nails of their big toes. In this manner, they had scaled marble columns and waterfalls of ice from Massilia to Hadramaut. The rough stone blocks were easy for them now. Up they went, like bats upon a cave wall. Moonlight glinted on bright things suspended in their mouths. The first of the assassins reached the window ledge. He sprang tiger-like upon it and peered into the chamber. Moonlight spilled across the room. The pallet was lit as if by day. The boy lay sleeping, motionless as one already dead. His dark hair fell loose upon the cushions. His pale lamb's throat shone against the silks. The assassin took his dagger from between his teeth. With quiet deliberation, he surveyed the room, gauging its extent and the possibility of traps. It was large, shadowy, empty of ostentation. 3 pillars supported the ceiling. In the distance stood a door of teak, barred on the inside. A chest, half filled with clothes, sat open against the wall. He saw a royal chair draped with a discarded cloak, sandals lying on the floor, an onyx basin filled with water. A faint trace of perfume hung on the air. The assassin, for whom such scents were decadent and corrupt, wrinkled his nose. His eyes narrowed. He reversed the dagger, holding it between finger and thumb by its shining, gleaming tip. It quivered once, twice. He was gauging the range here. He'd never missed a target yet, from Carthage to Old Colchis. Every knife he'd thrown had found its throat. His wrist flickered. The silver arc of the knife's flight cut the air in 2. It landed with a soft noise, hilt deep in the cushion, an inch from the child's neck. The assassin paused in doubt, still crouched upon the sill. The back of his hands bore the criss-cross scars that marked him as an adept of the Dark Academy. An adept never missed his target. The throw had been exact, precisely calibrated, yet it had missed. Had the victim moved a crucial fraction? Impossible. The boy was fast asleep. From his person he pulled a second dagger. Another careful aim. The assassin was conscious of his brothers behind and below him on the wall. He felt the grim weight of their impatience. A flick of the wrist, a momentary arc. With a soft noise, the second dagger landed in the cushion, an inch to the other side of the prince's neck. As he slept, perhaps he dreamed, a smile twitched ghost-like at the corners of his mouth. Behind the black gauze of the scarf that masked his face, the assassin frowned. From within his tunic he drew a strip of fabric, twined tightly into a cord.